As a migrant living in the UK, I've made some terrible mistakes that I regret so much, and some of them cost me a lot. Looking back now, I wish I had done things differently. So I'll be sharing them with you in today's video so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. My name is Tochi. Welcome to my channel. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up as you're watching so YouTube can recommend it to more people. Kindly share it to everyone that benefit from it. And to all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. You're welcome back to today's video. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly do so because I share amazing content that you definitely love on this channel, so please consider sticking around with me. As a person that moved from Nigeria to the UK, I made some mistakes, and one of them is not preparing so much, not preparing adequately, not having a plan before moving to the UK. My husband was the one who got a work visa and moved to the UK, was one that did all the research, prepared his mind, learned about places to move to, the cost of living and everything, right? He did his thorough research. I give it to him. But me, on the other hand, I was just excited I was moving to the UK. I didn't ask enough questions about what to expect as a dependent with a child moving to the UK. So it really hit me hard when I came in. I know that if I had done my thorough research, I would have at least had an idea of what to expect as a dependent moving to the UK with a child. It's quite different if you're moving without a child, right? It was just a lot for me to take in, coming from Nigeria as a lawyer, working in a corporate world and everything. It just hits me differently, right? I was really shocked at what I saw when I came into the UK, right? If I had known all of that, maybe I would have prepared myself well and I would have gotten the kind of shock that I got, right? Things would have been a bit more different for me. Is now I know better, and if I'm going to move to a new country, trust me, I'm going to do all the research because I learned from my mistakes. Number two, I regret not learning how to drive in Nigeria and getting a Nigeria driver's license before moving to the UK. That would have changed a whole lot of things for me. If you've been following me on this channel, I'm sure you would have watched the video where I talked about how I tried my driving test 10 times. I kept failing and failing until I finally passed at the 10th attempt. And I feel like if I had driven in Nigeria, gotten a Nigeria license, it would have been different. You know why? Because coming to the UK, you have 12 months. For you, the first 12 months in the UK, you can drive with your country's driving license in the UK. It's allowed and it's legal. So within that time frame, you can easily get a car and drive, get familiar with the roads and everything. And if you're lucky enough to pass your driving test, your UK driving test within that time frame, you can just switch immediately to your UK license without any stress. There are a lot of people that did it like that and they didn't have any stress. They can't even relate to people failing their exams and all of that. Now, it's not a one size fits all because there are people who still drove in Nigeria and came here and still, did their driving test a couple of times. And there are people who never drove and still came here and just passed once. But for me, I feel like if I had gotten a license from Nigeria, I would have had the courage to do it soon enough, because the difference now between me and my husband's experience is quite different, right? For him, he was driving in Nigeria, came to the UK with a license, drove with his Nigeria license for the first 12 months before he now eventually got his UK license. And he did his test just once, okay? But for me, I started from the scratch. I spent so much money, obviously, and then I was just unfortunate that I kept repeating the test until I eventually passed it. But if I had gotten my license and learned how to drive in Nigeria, maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't have gotten to that extent. Now, before I continue, I would love to introduce you guys to the sponsors of today's video, LemFi. LemFi is a reliable app that you can use to send money to Africa, because LemFi allows residents of the UK, Canada, and US to send money to Africa for free. You can send money to Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, and other African countries at zero fees, right? They have the best rates you can find in the market, so you'd always get your complete value for money. I've been using LemFi for a while, and I can say that it is free, it is easy to use, it is secured, and you're sure that the recipient will receive the money instantly. So please download the LemFi app now if you haven't, and begin to send money to Africa. It is easy. You send money at ease without stress of looking for who to change money for you. Just go on your app and send money to the person immediately. So you can download the LemFi app with my referral link in the description box, and you get £7 cash back on your first transactions above £50. Alternatively, Alternatively, you can download it from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and enter my code Tochi to benefit from this offer. So hurry now and download the LemFi app and begin to send money to Africa to your loved ones for free. And don't forget to use my code Tochi. Now back to the video. Number 3, settling for the available job at the time that I came instead of trying to get a job that I loved. Now, this had a lot to do with people around me and the kind of jobs they were doing and the kind of things I had. I had to settle for a job because that was what almost everybody around me was getting, if you get what I mean. Like, it was not a job I really wanted to, and honestly, I ended up not liking the job. And interestingly, I applied for the first job that I applied for. I got it immediately. So I started working in the UK in less than 3 weeks of my arrival. That was one of the things that I regret. And I tell people now, anybody asking me who just moved into the UK, I'll tell you, there are so many jobs you can look at, right? You have so many options you can explore. Do not restrict yourself to any particular kind of job because people are telling you that it's the easiest job to get or it is the only job that you can get. It now depends on you looking at your circumstance to decide for yourself and say, yes, I know I have other options, but I want to do this job. For me, I didn't have that much information available to know that there are other jobs available for me that I can do and still manage childcare and everything. I just felt like this is the only job I can do because that was the only job people around me were getting, and that was the only job they advised me to get as well. And I didn't know any better. It was after a while I realized that, oh, I could have actually applied for other jobs, because yes, I started applying for other jobs and I got them. So why didn't I apply for those jobs when I first came into the UK? You get what I mean? Number 4, not getting a skill before moving to the UK. And I regret this so much because I had the time. Right, I had the time to prepare myself so much. I had the time to get enough skill or do enough things to help me, to prepare me adequately for UK life, but I didn't, and I don't know why. Then the time when I now wanted to do it, and after I prepared myself to do it, there was lockdown, and the world was shut down, everything closed up, and I couldn't do it anymore. So if you're going to be moving to the UK, just get skills, be it hand skills, just upskill, empower yourself enough, because you're moving to a new country, and once you have those things, you have it, they are yours. You can use it for yourself, or you can even use it to make money if there's need for it. Even if you're not going to move abroad, or you don't have plans of moving abroad anytime soon, as a human being, it's just good to keep empowering yourself, keep learning, keep getting new skills every day, because you don't know, it might come in handy one day when you least expect. That's one big life lesson that I've learned. And another thing I regret is not taking up big opportunities or huge life opportunities that came my way when I had the chance to, simply because I thought I had time. And one lesson that I've learned the hard way is that sometimes truly opportunities only come but once. They come only once. It takes the grace of God for that opportunity to come back a second time. So I have missed a lot of things, a lot of life-changing opportunities, because I didn't take them up when I had the chance, or when it came to me. I felt, oh, I can always do it some other time. I just kept making excuses. I just kept postponing. And that was how I missed all those opportunities. And that is why now, if I see an opportunity and it's something I really want, I grab it with my 2 hands, because I know that if I miss this one, it might never come back to me. Trust me, guys, I have missed so many opportunities. Are we going to talk about jobs, opportunities to make money, life-changing opportunities to help better my career, better me as a person, as a human being, and even as a woman, that came my way, that I just let go just like that. When you talk about opportunities as well, you see how, the opportunity for people to move abroad came as healthcare assistants. When the UK opened their gates and said, oh, if you're a healthcare assistant, or if you can work in the UK as a healthcare assistant, please apply. They were begging people, literally begging people to come to the UK. People that were the first to do that got into the UK with their families, everything. But now that door is closed and might never open again as it used to. That is because opportunities come only once sometimes, right? So in life generally, it's just good to make use of opportunities when they come your way, because you might never get that chance again. Another thing I wish we had done differently was going or stretching ourselves to get a bigger house when we're about to buy a house. Now, I know that a lot of factors are put into place when people are buying a house and everything, so how much you guys earn, your affordability and everything, comes into play to decide the kind of how much you guys can get and the kind of house you can buy, right? But in our case, I feel like if you had stretched or asked for that, maybe you would have been able to afford a bigger house. And when we got our house, guys, the interest rate was so low. Imagine getting an interest rate for 1.8% or something like that. Now, it might never, now talking about opportunities, you might never get that kind of interest rate again in the UK. So we are paying £530 for our mortgage. I don't think anybody getting a mortgage now can get that low price. So if we had gotten or stretched ourselves to get a bigger house, maybe we'll just relax now and just wait for the interest rates to come so down. We'll not worry ourselves about getting a bigger house because our family is expanding. When we got our mortgage, we had just 2 kids. Now we have 3, and then we have people always around us, our parents, and all of that. We have people visiting us and everything. So I guess we really did not consider all of that or put all of that into consideration. We just settled. Right, we just settled because we're excited, we could afford a mortgage early enough, we could get a house, it's a good thing we're able to do that early enough. But I feel like if we had stressed ourselves, and looking back, I think if we had stressed ourselves, because we didn't even bother to check out for 4-bed houses or something like that, and the prices at that time were low. It's going to be so hard now getting a 4-bed house or even a 3-bed house in this place for the price that we got at the time that we got it, and even getting the same interest rates. You get what I mean? Times are changing, things are changing, interest rates are going high every day, inflation and everything. So you might never get things as low as you got them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if you get what I mean. So I think we did not just see the bigger picture. We didn't think about all of that. We just went for this house, and a lot of our friends were getting the same kind of properties. So we just felt, oh, let's go and get it. We went, asked questions, we were able to get it. Just maybe if we had asked for the price of a bigger house, maybe we would have still been able to afford it. Or if we had stretched ourselves a lot more to get that, maybe we would have been able to get it. But that is not so bad. I don't regret it so much, because who says we cannot get a bigger house even with the interest rates? We can if we want to, whatever we want to. Just that we're going to get it at a much more expensive price, get a higher interest rate, and have to pay a higher amount of money for our mortgage and all of that if we want to get a bigger space. But it's fine. But one thing I've learned from all of this is to always look at the bigger picture when you're doing anything. Lastly, I wish I learned earlier to pay for consultations or pay for expert advice, because sometimes you make mistakes that cost you so much more than you'd have spent if you had just paid for that consultation, right? And I know this happens to most of us. We just rely on information we get from friends or something we just research on Google or watch on social media, but it's quite different from paying people who are really into the business, paying for consultations, getting expert advice, professional advice from people. That will cost money, right? Sometimes, yes, that costs money because it's their expertise, it's their experience they're sharing with you, it's their service they're offering, and it's their time. So some of them cost money, but I've learned that it's good to pay for that consultation so you don't have to make mistakes. So for instance, when we're getting an investment property, we read a lot, bought books, did a lot of things, watched videos and everything, but we really didn't pay for consultation or get an expert advice. And I feel like if we had done that, we wouldn't have made a big mistake that cost us so much. It cost us money, it even cost us the house, one house at the time, right? So that is one thing, one mistake that I will never repeat again. And I've learned in a hard way that no matter what, if I want to venture into something new, I would seek expert opinion. I would seek expert advice. You know, I will pay for them to teach me what they know. So yeah, that is that. I know that I would have made other mistakes that cost us, you know, something, but when I was compiling this video, these were the ones at the top of my head, and I'm sure you have learned something from it. Do well to share with us some of the mistakes you have made living in the UK that looking back you wish you had done things differently. I hope you got value from this video. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.